And also, I was just curious about your guy friend that you just mentioned that you had met him before being with your husband. Do you
Yeah.
think he might have ever had a crush on you at some point or
Good
liked
question.
you?
I don't know, don't think so. Honestly, it has never been disrespectful. It has never been he has never flirted with me, never have popped any questions or anything. And I have met like I have known this guy, like I said, for years and years. I think since like 2000 and um no way. It's been a long time. I think like 2019 or 20, something like that. So like I said, it's he's always been very respectful. Um if anything, he had treated me like a sister. That's the way that I have seen it. I also have another guy friend whom I know since I was like 10, and this guy is like in his 30s right now. So we've been knowing each other for like more than 14 years. He's married. His wife is my best friend as well. I actually introduced them. So I do believe in the idea of having guy friends even after a relationship, because if they've been there and they haven't been disrespectful or tried something or anything, I don't see why not to still have them around.
Mm,
Mm.
absolutely
I'm
not.
curious about
Um,
your guy.
He said absolutely not. But
absolutely not.
Yeah.
for you, if your girlfriend tells you, or your wife, I'm not sure, tells you that you are not allowed to have any friends, girlfriends, are you
Well,
dropping all of them?
I don't have girlfriends in general.
Okay.
But it's not because I'm not allowed to or not that I wouldn't be allowed to. It's because I don't I don't have a lot of things in common with women. I don't really see that.
Okay.
I don't
Fair enough.
spend a lot of I don't think that women generally have the same hobbies or interests that I do for the most part. Um, I I think they're fine, romantically, but I don't necessarily see them as good companions or friendship or anything like that. Um,
That's fair.
my question, I want to get to Brooklyn too, because Brooklyn, you've been nodding a little bit, and
Mm.
I want to get you to weigh in on some of this too. But Shreya, you mentioned if let me ask you this question: if one of those guy friends ever made a move on you or said something that was across the boundary or across the line, would you dump them then,
We
or
probably
still?
wouldn't have been friends.
For me,
Yeah.
I would just kind of like let it fizzle out, like, cause I'm not like I wouldn't just be like, oh, that's so disrespectful, like block him. Like I just like be like, oh, okay, and then I just like stop talking to him. Like
Okay,
it's happened to me before, and that's exactly what I did.
So
so
you'd still
guys
be
have made
ending the
moves on you.
friendship.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like if they have been if they have been disrespectful towards me and my partner, I will absolutely dump like it end the friendship right there and there.
Okay. My guess is because of that reality, that's why those guys have not done so. I think a lot of women, I think, drastically underestimate how long men will wait and how long they will sit there in the shadows and in the friend zone waiting for their opportunity to strike. Years, decades. Um, you know, like, there's never been in a point of history, there's never been a reason that men and women would be in any sort of platonic relationship. Any sort of platonic relationship, it's actually, I don't see how a man can do it because, for one, like, men are attracted to women. Men want here's what men want from women. They want sex. They want beauty, they want sex, they want that. They want intimacy. Here's what women love to get from men. But besides all that stuff, they like the emotional connection, they like talking to somebody. Women thrive on emotional connection and men thrive on physical connection. So a man in the friend zone, a man who's a friend, is the exact same as the other side of that coin is a woman who's in a friends of benefits zone. She's getting all the physical benefits, but none of the emotional benefits. The man in the friend zone is getting none of the physical benefits, and she's getting all the emotional benefits. I don't see why any guy would do that.
I feel like that is true, that every male friendship I can think of, they eventually reveal feelings or try to make a move. I think, like, I personally, I don't have many male friendships, like, at all. Like, I don't want to hang out with any guy one-on-one because they're going to expect to progress further in the relationship. So I don't like having male friends that much.
Well, I definitely have had that happen to me many times, and I can assure you those people are not in my life anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the case, if it's happened to you that many times, what's the likelihood that these other couple of guys don't fall into that same category?
Well, like I said, well, you have an opinion on that. You say that they are willing to wait for a very, very, very long time. Well,
Forever.
they have been waiting, I guess, and they have not done anything that has make me want them out of my life. For example, this guy
Okay.
that I talked to you about, we've been friends for like 14 years. We bonded because we live across each other. Our families were close. He liked music, I loved music. He made it so like I would like to be around. He had like a bunch of friends, and I will be in that group of friends too. um it pretty much introduced me to social life, I guess, because I didn't have many friends at school. I was kind of bullied back then, so he embraced me. His friends embraced me, and I had felt um comfortable in his group of friends, so that pretty much it. So the bottom line is, if he had made any moves, if he had been disrespectful or any sort of way, he wouldn't be in my life, and that's it. But unfortunately, I can't just go ahead and be like, hey, you know what, we can't be friends, or I'm going to ghost you, or it's just over just because I got in a relationship. I just can't do that.
Yeah, there's a
Anna,
bit of a difference here
go ahead,
between
Spence.
like men and women. This kind of goes back to something Moff was saying earlier. Like, men aren't getting approached by women randomly at the bar because like
They are.
most men,
That's like, there's not that many cases, but they absolutely are, because now I feel like a lot of women with this empowerment and like all of the
no,
the standards and this,
It's not
yes, they
happening.
do.
no, it's
No,
not.
It's
they don't. It doesn't
sometimes
happen.
I
they,
No.
think
you will be
This is
surprised
one
how
of my
many times I've
favorite
Once in
seen
a
it.
questions to
blue
ask
moon,
in street
sure.
interviews is how will you
That's what
approach a
I'm
guy?
saying.
And
It
girls
doesn't happen as
always,
often, but it definitely happens. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've
but
seen it myself.
you're talking about when you say doesn't happen as often, you're talking about astronomically lower. Like
Yeah,
you cannot
for
go out to
sure.
a
I can
bar or a
agree
club
on
as a
that.
woman. The likelihood that you're going to go out to a bar or a club as a woman and not get approached or hit on in any way is almost zero. The likelihood that you're going to go
that's
out to a bar
not
and a
true
club
though,
as a
because
man and get
I've
approached is almost zero.
I've every time I've been to the club, I am always look busy with my friends and like stay with my friends. I have never had a guy like come up to me and ask me for anything at a club
I've
ever
had
because
instances when I
I
go to
now
the
I
club and
bet
that
you
doesn't happen
always
to
go
me.
with your friends so that happens. You would
that is
probably
true
never go
though.
alone because you know if you went alone, you'd get approached by a ton of dudes.
Pretty much. Yeah, I
That's
don't put myself in that position. I wouldn't. And I think that that is stupid to like go out by yourself at all.
Yeah, and if a guy goes out
Yeah,
to
that's
a bar
crazy.
or club alone, he's just going to be lonely the whole night. No one's approaching him.
Mm.
Like,
Correct.
that's the reality. Is most
Unless
guys
he gets
don't
off
have
his ass.
options. Yeah. So most guys don't have options. So there's a lot of guys who are willing to wait around as the friend for years for an opportunity. But because women have so many options, they don't do the same thing. They don't try to get to a man through the friend zone. So even like the question of a guy having a bunch of female friends versus a girl having a bunch of male friends while in a relationship, the female friends of the guy aren't really a threat because they're not waiting around trying to get the guy out of the relationship. But a lot of the male friends are waiting around trying to get the girl.
that's something I definitely disagree with. I feel like
Me too.
women friends are equally a threat as male friends. I don't think like I don't have male friends many anyway. Like I don't hang out with them one on one. Usually friend groups, and I think that men having women friends is just a bigger problem as women having men friends.
Anna, what do you think about all this?
Um, well, for me personally, all my male friends are just like my cousins and my brothers and my dad. So I don't really like, except for my friends' boyfriends who I talk to when like they're together. I don't really hang out with guys just because I like having tea parties. I like going and like shopping for vintage clothes and hats. Usually guys don't want to do that. So But yeah,
The
that's
best
just
answer I've
me.
ever heard. I swear to God.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.